Cool, man. We're back. What up, y'all?
Word, my homie. How y'all doing?
Oh, we've been gone for about 35 seconds.
I've been falling for 30 minutes.
That was so good, dude. I think one of my favorite, and I thought, and this is just a little thing, but you know who I thought the Rock voice was? The Rock guy that he met as a slave at that planet. Yeah. I thought it was the same voice that did
Court, right? Yeah.
That did Chappie and District 9. It just that's similar,
yeah,
like
no, actually, I think it's the guy
South African kind of accent.
Yeah,
sort
I'm
of.
drawing a blank on the guy's name.
No, I looked it up. It was the director.
Is James Gunn? Or no?
No, it was the director of the movie. That was him.
Oh,
he did the voice.
Really?
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was so good, dude. Yeah, long hair. His name is
Tyweek.
Yeah, that's it. It was so crazy. His voice was. It was just like, hey, how you doing? Okay, here we are.
Yeah, actually, I thought it was. You remember Liar Liar? Not Liar Liar. Yes Man, with Jim
Vaguely,
Carrey?
Yeah.
All right, well, let me bring up the guy that I thought it was here.
But I thought it was, I swear it was the guy who was the main character in District 9.
Yeah.
And the voice of Chappie.
And,
yeah. But it wasn't. So, anyway.
I thought it was Reese Darby.
Well, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. No, it was, if you look it up, it's the director. He did that voice. It was a trip. Anywho. Side note. Anybody come back? Bueller?
Oh, mine hasn't refreshed yet. Hang on. Oh, yeah. Taika Waititi.
Yeah. Hey, Skeen. Welcome back. I'll be right back. Somebody just fell. What was that?
No, Skeen. I was just reading my phone and resting my head against the mic. Although I wish I could just like put my head to the mic and then just all my thoughts would be put straight into the podcast.
Well, that's 15 years from now when we have direct to mic communication. Sorry, I just jumped in. Just had my girls real quick.
Did somebody fall?
No, they dropped a backpack or some shit. Who knows? All right.
All right, word. Let's get this party rolling, yo.
Let's do it.
Oh, God, no. Not all my thoughts, Skeen.
Oh.
That'd be dangerous.
Funny.
No. Scary.
Yeah, I think that's with anyone, though, dude, to be honest with you.
True that.
Who knows? You don't know what I'm thinking half the time. All right. Well, let's go. Really?
Blast came from the Death Star. That thing's operational.
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
Hello and welcome to episode 118 of the Usual Podcast, a podcast where we discuss Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Star Wars franchise, and geek and pop culture. I'm your host, Marshall, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Will. What up, Brosif?
I'm 2 beers in tonight.
2 whole beers. Look at
That's
you.
That's a lot for me.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Speaking of, we're just sitting here enjoying our usual frosty beverages. What did you drink?
Tonight I had 2 Blue Stars.
Oh, local.
Yeah, nice local beer. They were nice and yummy.
Nice. Hello.
Hello.
It's okay. Shut the door. No biggie.
They were nice and yummy. Had some with a little bit of lemon, and yeah, it
Limon.
was good. Actually, I finished my first beer before you finished your first beer.
Okay, well, here we are. Posturing already. A little early.
Preening.
Okay. I had a couple Racer 5s also from a couple hundred
Does
miles
that make a Racer
away.
10?
Well, no, because Racer 10 is a totally different beer. But I also, right now, I'm drinking Ballast Point Sculpin IPA, one of my top two favorite IPAs.
Sculpin.
You want to know what my other one is?
Tricera hops.
That's a double IPA. This is my other favorite IPA is Dogfish Head 90-minute IPA.
Ooh.
Boom.
Dogfish head.
Stupid. So before we get started, if you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Find us on Twitter at DarthPops and I am Will Griggs. We're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play. Please take time to like us and share us when you see us and give us some stars and such. We like that. And timestamps in the show notes for non-SWTOR fans. We got a ton of SWTOR this week. New patch dropped, or a new game update, I should say. So we'll be spending a little more time on SWTOR than we normally do, but not more than about 25 minutes or so. And otherwise, you can jump around. We have some cool Star Wars news and, of course, pop culture in general.
Absolutely.
Thanks to everybody who is in the chat room. Mr. Skeen, you are with us as always. And your brother Steve was there. I don't know if he has not come back, but here we are. We had trailer time before this, so maybe people didn't come back.
Yeah, he's a big trailer time person, and he doesn't play the game, so yeah, he might be coming back for the other.
He's not going to come back. Just kidding.
I hate you so I hate you so much.
All right. So before Will cries more than he normally does, let's get into Star Wars: The Old Republic.
You want to fight? I'm ready.
You do not have to stand against me. Instead, I will share all of this with you, if you will only kneel.
Yeah, Steve, Will was counting you out, bro.
What the F?
He's like, yeah, we all hate Will.
He was agreeing with me that I hate you.
I think that's inaccurate. All right, so anyway, let's start with community stuff, man. Unholy Alliance, for the last couple years, has had one more before the end of the year, one more push towards the end of the year, because that's usually when they wrap up the donations for Extra Life.
Right.
And the last year they did a movie night with Eric Musco.
Yes.
This year they're doing they're calling a blockbuster with Boyd. So they're getting together,
getting her crush out of the way.
Yeah. So Charles Boyd is going to be on Discord with our Unholy Alliance Guild, and the cool part is it is going to be on December 10th. It's not going to be good for the audio, but anyway, Sunday, December 10th at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 7 p.m. GMT. And it says, basically, get together with SWTOR and Star Wars friends and enjoy a movie, chat, and have a good time for charity. So the way to be part of this, you have to donate $10 or more to the Movie Day donation page for Unholy Alliance Extra Life Charity Team. And please donate under your name or handle that with a good email so they can send you all the details with the Discord info and all
Absolutely. That. And are they going to be watching Force Awakens?
No, they're going to be watching Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. And this film is currently available to stream on Netflix and other providers, so you have to be able to start it when they do, get on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah, actually, it just got added on to Netflix this month, I think.
Yeah, totally. I've actually watched it on Netflix, so it's totally cool. And so, again, Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. This is the last push towards the end of the year, of course, for charity. Definitely check out the link in the show notes. As a guild, we are just $2 shy of $4,000.
Let's get over that, huh?
Let's get over that. So definitely do that. And the link in the show notes is hilarious. They basically cut and pasted Charles Boyd's head on Terminator. Terminator's body. He's got the shotgun and the motorcycle, and they've got it Boydinator 2 Movie Day. So that's phenomenal.
Awesome.
So definitely check that out. I also have a link in the show notes to Jesse's blog as well. She's got all the info up on there. So you have 2 ways to get there: donate and join us. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, but I will do my darndest because I missed last year as well. So
Yeah, I'm going to try, but Sunday's going to be a busy day for me this week.
indeed, next week, but still, okay.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. So weekend game, my friend. What'd you do?
I all right. I was having myself quite a week, so I actually took a personal day on Tuesday, downloaded the patch, and I was done with the new Flashpoint by 4 p.m.
Nice. That's good, dude.
I really enjoyed it. I thought I played on solo mode. I didn't play with anybody else. I found a couple of the bosses challenging for my gameplay because I'm a sniper. So sniper has a lot of their abilities are take time to channel, and so it was like but I enjoyed it. It was a really good. I liked the storyline.
Cool.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we won't spoil the story. I haven't done it yet, but I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, we'll wait a few weeks and we'll talk about the story for sure.
I did like. I haven't actually taken advantage of it yet, but I do like that you can put legacy credits now.
Yeah, I actually went through all my tunes. It's one of the things I did, and put all my extra credits in there. I think I've got almost 60 million across my legacy.
I think if you put all mine together, I might hit 8. But I just created a new tune on the Satil Shrine server, and it's a
cool, good stuff.
Trooper.
Yeah,
created a trooper.
Nice. So what did I do this week? I did Warzone. So this was actually kind of funny. So I had to. By the 28th, you had to have done either 3 Warzones or 3 Group Finder via the Group Finder in order to get the other companion
I didn't get a chance to
and the pet and all that stuff unlocked. So it was literally the morning of the patch, Tuesday morning. I was having a hell of a week, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to not do this. I did 1 Flashpoint at WoG because we didn't have a lot of people show up the week before or the Friday before, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just see who's around. And we got a group together pretty quick online, showed up later that evening, obviously, and ran through. So we got a bunch of people together and did PvP. It was like Jesse and Mox and a bunch of people. And some people, their fun sides come out in PvP. Boy, Jesse was talking some smack. It was a lot of fun. So we all played terribly, got through 3 war zones. A little hiccups here and there, but it was a lot of fun. We should do that a little more often because it was really kind of a blast.
Okay, for those of you who actually have met Jesse in person,
yes, Skeen, we did kick ass on that Flashpoint on WoG night. Thank you, sir, for being there.
This is how I pictured Jesse talking smack in real life, like running up to somebody saying, "You're an asshole," and throwing glitter in their face.
No, it was a little more than that. So, which was hilarious. So we did that, and so I fulfilled that achievement requirement, so that was cool. I've been working on my DPS gear set as I was hopping around to tunes, and I'm actually stoked with a lot of the quality of life changes, which we'll get to in a little bit with 5.6, especially with the Group Finder solo mode, all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty darn cool. So we'll get to that stuff here in a minute.
I finally got to tier 2 of Command XP.
Look at you.
I think I'm at 96 now.
You're really doing it. You know that? I'm close to 300 now.
I effing hate you.
No, I'm seriously. I'm at, and actually it's a good segue because this next thing really bugs me that it's not going to be a thing. So we'll get to that because I'm like way past this. I'm close to 300. So check this out. So getting into some of the news, some of the changes for 5.6. First thing I'm going to talk about is so from the patch notes, which we'll get to more specifically in a minute. One of the things you get in some of the command crates is command boosts, right? And what was really annoying is that some of the command boosts are limited to 1 through 179.
Okay.
Command rank.
Oh, really?
And you just can't use them after that.
Can you stockpile them?
Well, I stockpile them and I give them other tunes, but that just ticks me off. So one of the things they changed was there's not going to be that restriction going forward, but it's not retroactive. And
so the ones
so
you've been stockpiling you can't use?
I can use them. I just have to give them to a different tune
Right.
that's not over 179 command rank. So,
Well, I mean, at least they're still usable.
yeah, but I'm not super happy about it.
Well, that's because you're just a little bitch. Sorry, I was in mid yawn, so that totally detracted from the insult.
Anywho, so as far as server transfers, those also went live later in the day when the servers went back up, which is pretty darn cool. People were stoked about that. And right now they're at the lower price, but they will go back up at some point as well. There were some other issues when
I did notice because I played early.
Yeah.
And then later on in the evening, I wasn't playing that night because I was already done with it. I was actually watching some TV and watching some movies and sleeping. And I noticed that there was a queue issue with Satil Sean. What was going on with that?
Oh, I was just about to say it, but then you just started saying stuff. So
That's why I was trying to segue, making it a conversation, so it doesn't just look like we're reading from a script, yo.
Yo, what is this, 1994?
Yo,
Just
MTV
kidding. What's
rap.
up, Kid Lee? How you doing, buddy? Anyway, it's a Kid Lee raid. We're gonna get a bump. So there's
Nice.
this thing in Twitch now called raids. I don't 100% understand it. Kid Lee was trying to explain it to me. I don't get it, but
It's okay.
I'm
we
glad
just-
you guys are
we
here.
just tripled our viewership.
No, cool. More power to us.
Welcome to Kidley Raiders.
Yeah, cool. All right, man. So server full. So on that note, there were some issues. There were some queues on Satil Sean. They actually had to bring the server down for a little bit to fix some stuff. And that went down, I think, actually earlier that Tuesday night.
Because I kept seeing all the notifications on Twitter.
Exactly. So, but it came back up and everything seemed to be okay. Then there were two things that kind of bugged me. Well, one more than the other. This one, not as much. So, no Rackles this week is the thread that was started, and Rackles was supposed to start. And
Yeah, I was waiting on it because I started that new tune and I was going to do the Kindly Old Master quest.
No, you can't do it. So it looks like so this is Eric Musco. He said it looks like the Rackle also did not go live as intended, similar to the Double XP event, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Right.
Excuse me. The team is working on trying to schedule it to go live alongside the Double XP event that's coming on the 12th. On that note, they were supposed to do Double XP this week,
Right.
which I was stoked for. And I was talking to the guys the other night about this. When this got announced, it was kind of a bummer. But the good thing, there's good news and bad news. So quick update, the planned Double XP event was to start tomorrow. This was at the time of posting. So the bad news. They hit a scheduling issue with the game, and the Double XP event will not go live. But the good news is to make up for it, when 5.6.1 on the 12th comes out, they're going to extend the Double XP, and they're going to run it through the 1st of January.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to run for a while. So I like that they are
That's
basically
seriously,
giving
it's
us...
gonna run our entire Christmas break.
Oh, yeah. They're giving us 20 days of Double XP and
Awesome.
CXP and all that. So that is pretty darn awesome. So I don't mind. Actually, I prefer it happening then because I'm not trying to work and do a bunch of other
I don't
things.
know,
So that's
hopefully,
pretty cool.
maybe I can hit 300 by the time break's over.
No, you won't, but that's fine. That's when you say challenge accepted.
That's when I say F you.
Shut up. All right. So one thing I just wanted to show, because I don't know when this came out or whatever, but the Journey to Capero, there's a little teaser thing for it, and I thought we could watch it.
Let's watch it.
But let me do a thing real quick.
Do the damn thing.
And you've played this already. I haven't, and that's totally fine. But I thought we'd show our viewers what we got. They don't normally do 2 weeks of LXP during Christmas. That was the case last few years.
I don't know if it was during Christmas.
You know what? They have actually during the holidays do a Double XP event, but they usually... I don't know if it's Christmas actually, but I can't remember. But you might be right, DVD out. So yeah, I don't know. But I feel like last year there was at least 1 week of Double XP though.
Well, I was thinking, I thought it was 1 week during Thanksgiving and 1 week during Christmas.
Oh, during the Life Day event. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But do they... I don't know if they do double also during that. I think they do Life Day, and then around New Year's they do the Double XP.
They throw
I
in the
feel
week
like.
of...
But
yeah.
I'm not sure. I have to go back. I have a bad memory, DVD guy.
Yeah, you do. You're
I'm sorry,
old.
man. Well, first of all, you're 3 years older than me, and don't be a jerk. These people are trying to help.
I'm being a jerk to you, not them.
Um,
I love you guys.
I hate to tell you, you did miss the Infinity War trailer, but here's what I'm gonna do
Because it is so much awesomeness.
because it's so awesome and I really want to watch it again. When we get to the beginning of our last
Universal?
section of the show, we'll watch it one more time.
Yeah, we
so
will.
stick around with us for like I don't know, half hour or so, and we'll get there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna watch Journey to Capero real quick. Let's do it.
It's time to catch a traitor.
Cool. Yeah, do that.
Infiltrate the camp.
Wow, dude.
I'm capturing from Twitter. I didn't find the actual one. That's what this was got us last time. It's fine. I can find a better one. Media cannot be played. Cool. Good news.
So, like I said, you haven't played any of the Capero stuff yet.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? We're like, yeah, man. So what we're gonna do is, I'll try to find the version of that here in a minute, or we'll watch it next week. Sorry about that. When we do our spoiler one, we can do it. Actually, that wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Okay, yeah, I'm not going to I mean, this isn't spoiling at all. I was actually a little surprised about the landscape of Capero.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not what I pictured when I pictured Chiss.
All right. Cool. I'm stoked about
It's
the
still,
Chiss, man.
it's a gorgeous planet.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about the Chiss Ascendancy. I love all of the Chiss stuff. Everything that Timothy Zahn put in those books is just phenomenal.
Okay,
So,
the funny thing is because I play a sniper agent, right? And so
Yeah.
and I always play with my headgear on, and so I completely forget about myself, right? And I totally
what
forgot.
does that mean? You forget about yourself?
Well, about my tunes, like things about my tune, right?
Oh, okay.
I totally forgot that I'm a Chiss,
Oh, you're ridiculous.
and so it actually came up in the story a little bit later.
See, I never have that problem because all my people
All
are
your
Chiss.
people are Chiss. Well, thing is, this is my only Chiss tune.
Oh, that's funny.
And I thought it was funny. It was like, oh my gosh, I totally spaced that. I would have made a couple of decisions differently.
All right, man. So I don't want to spend all day on patch notes, obviously, but what I
You say
want
that
to...
every week.
Did you read them?
Not this week.
Oh, here we are.
I love you.
All right. So, but I do want to go through a few things. So, obviously the new Flashpoint hit, and that is dealing with the trader issue
It's a lot
on
of fun.
Capero, which I'm stoked for. The new Operation Boss is up. These
Yeah.
are the highlights, obviously.
And
The
that's
Operation
fourth
Boss,
one, right?
third. Nahut, the Son of Shadow, which I'm excited about. So we're gonna tackle that hopefully in What's an Ops group tomorrow,
Nice.
which I'm stoked about. I was never able to do it on the PTS, so I'm excited to do that tomorrow. And new Galactic Starfighter map. It's a 12v12 death match
Holy crap.
above Iocath, which sounds awesome. And the new activities window. And I don't know if you noticed this when you logged in. Everything, the whole Galactic Command interface is gone.
Yeah, actually, I didn't look at that yet.
And it's now the activities window. And it's split up. Well, I'll just read this. It says the group finder interface has seen a huge overhaul. It includes repeatable rewards, bonuses for roles in need, along with unifying the group, Warzone, Galactic Starfighter, and solo content in a single window. So you can kind of, there's tabs of like solo, group content, and all that kind of stuff,
Cool.
PvP. So you can kind of basically in one location pick what you want to do, and no more like, oh, I don't want that daily run. I don't want that one.
Right,
You can
right,
pick
right.
which one you want, which is pretty darn cool as well.
Awesome.
And then what we talked about, well, no, I guess not last week, but 2 weeks ago when we recorded, was the Master's Datacron, which you can boost any tune from whatever level they are to level 70.
Right.
And that's 2,000 credits, 2,000 cartel coins from the cartel market.
2,000 credits. That's a steal.
Yeah, well, I'll be doing that all day, but no, 2,000 cartel coins. So general stuff, like I said, a lot of changes been to Group Finder. The repeatable rewards. So for each PvE group activity, there's a repeatable reward when queuing for all available content. There's also a role in need, which I thought was pretty cool. And so certain group enforced content will now give bonuses to roles in need. So let's say, well, the example they give is if there's a lack of healers in the activity window for Master Mode flashpoints.
Okay.
If you queue as a healer, you might get extra rewards,
Oh, I got you. Okay.
which is kind of cool. That'll probably work out well for me because there's always a lack of tanks and healers, right?
A lack of Hanks.
Well, lack of Hanks. Sometimes you just need a Hank.
You do. You need some Tom. You need Tom to be right next to you.
I don't know what that means.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so
Seriously, how did you not pick up on that?
no, I got it. I just thought it was weird, but it's fine. Sometimes I like to make fun of them and then look away, but that's okay.
That's true, DVD House. It is seriously. It is like saying, "Please play tanks and healers."
But it's weird because it's never going to be that
No,
for DPS ever.
no, because okay, I have like 20 tunes and they're all DPS.
No, I know. It's madness. Daily rewards. So for each PvE group activity, there's a significant bonus to experience, credits, command experience, and unassembled components. And obviously you need a queue for all available content for that. This is my favorite part. The solo window, all heroics, daily areas, events, when eligible, and flashpoints can easily be queued from the solo window. So you don't have to like... Sometimes I run into a flashpoint and like, am I actually in solo mode? Or is this like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you know you queue up, you're good to go, which is nice.
That's good.
Let's see what else we have here. So there's been still some issues. I don't know if they fixed it all the way, but characters across the galaxy now have an appropriate amount of sparkle in their eyes. But do you remember, like, we've been talking about it? Like, people were upset, like, the eyes were sparkling funny.
Right.
In, like, the load window and stuff. So maybe they fixed it.
Weird.
I don't know, man. So obviously solo stuff's been added to the activities window. What else do we have here? Galactic command interface been removed from the game. Rewards been competing. Yeah. There were some issues fixed with the cartel market. We obviously have the new boss. What else we got? Anything else?
So what's up with the daily areas now granting a weekly mission and losing the area?
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a bit. So there's also been a bunch of class changes and that kind of thing. There's some leveling of command experience in some of the flashpoints, and that's kind of it for patch notes, except for one thing. When adding an augment slot, this is a really cool quality of life thing. When adding an augment slot to an item, the augment kit drop-down box will now sort by whichever kit the player has highest quality of.
Okay.
So, like...
Instead of always starting at 1.
Oh, my God. It's so annoying. I'm like, oh, let me go to 10, because why would I want 1? Well, my
Good
level
point.
72. That makes no sense. Anyway. And command boosts that drop from the command crates no longer have restriction on what command ranks they apply to. I wish that was retroactive, but that's just my personal beef.
Why don't you cry about it?
I'm kind of am. That was my complaint. You hear me, Musco?
Musco doesn't listen to us.
True statement. Decorations have been added to the mission reward for solo mode flashpoints, which is cool. And there's some other cool stuff in here too, but I think that's about it. Oh, 2 new tiers of augments is the last thing I'm going to say. Excuse me. Maybe not the last thing. Item ratings, 230 artifact quality. They drop inside of Capero Flashpoint. And the item rating, 236 legendary quality. They're crafted ones. That can be learned from the crew skill trainers.
Okay, cool.
So, more augments. Yay.
Yeah, I did get dropped an MK3. I think it was a set of boots that had the 232s in them or something like that.
Boots, huh?
Fashionable.
Improved disintegration. This is one of the things that they were saying was going to happen. So if you have something with stats in it that you disintegrate,
Okay.
you will get unassembled components from that. And I've actually experimented with this a little bit because I had some crates on a bunch of tunes. So when I was going from tune to tune, anybody that had crates on it after I put all my credits into Legacy, I disintegrated stuff that I didn't need, and I got unassembled components, and all that's Legacy now, and it's in your inventory, and I just put that into my Legacy bank, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I did that. I disintegrated one thing and I got 12 assembled components.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, what else do we got here? I think that's about it. Unassembled components are no longer in your Legacy and your currency tab. They're stackable, and they're in your inventory, like I just said. And, of course, the Legacy credits are a thing.
Nice.
So, here we are, dude. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I want to play.
Should we talk about known issues?
Absolutely.
You mean you don't want to talk about known issues?
Let's hear what people are bitching about this week.
Don't cut your eyes at me. This is from the devs, dude. This is known issues after this update. I'm not going to go through all of them. There's a bunch of known issues. I have the link in the show notes to it. But the main thing that they want to be aware of is that the currency tab, the unassembled components are still there, and it's at 0. But look in your inventory.
They're
if
there.
you didn't have space in there, it's in your mailbox, etc. Right?
Exactly.
There was also an exploit, which we'll get to in a minute. There's also a weird thing with Kuat Drive Yards. If you're playing that, don't during the second cutscene. If you press spacebar, you're gonna get stuck, kicked out. It's a mess. Read the read the specifics on that because it's very very touchy. It seems.
Yeah, no, I wasn't giving you the weird look at getting stuck by hitting spacebar. I was looking at you weird because Kuat Drive Yards. I forgot that was in the
Yeah.
game.
See, I haven't played Kuat in a long time. I used to play it all the time because that was that one you could run through really quickly.
Yeah.
All right. So that's some known issues. There was an exploit, as I said. And this is an exploit that pops up, I think, every few updates. And it's that one where you can buy something for nothing and then sell it back.
Oh, yeah.
And this had to do this time with companion gifts. So there was a vendor that would allow you to buy companion gifts for free and then sell them back for credits. And so obviously they're going to go after those people. And then the other known issue is the vendor on Tahuta. The vendor Tahuta on the Imperial fleet is selling various companion gifts that do not list a purchase price, but they do have one. So when you purchase them, they can be bought cheaper than it's intended, and they're going to fix it in a future update. And as a follow-up, it's not an exploit to buy the cheaper gifts.
Okay, so even the ones that are free?
They're not the free ones are gone. They fixed that.
Okay. But the cheaper gifts, I mean, even if say for example the free ones were still there. What if you bought them
Hold
to
on.
actually...
Hello? My mic didn't go out. Maybe it was me moving away for a second. Can you guys not hear me? Kid Lee said my mic went out.
Can you hear Marshall now?
Can you hear me now? Dude, that's funny. There's more than one cutscene in KDY.
Yeah.
I don't know. After
so
the
long.
first run, all we ever did was spacebar through that crap.
Exactly.
So that's the kind of the whole point here, guys. Is we're all used to spacebarring in that one. If you do it, you're gonna get screwed. The group's gonna get you have to disband the group, reform it, and then go back in, which is a bummer. Anyway.
That's weird. Yeah, Kid Lee says he can't hear us, but everyone else can. So let's just move on.
I'm gonna power through. I'm sorry, Kid Lee.
So anyways, going back to that, what if you had bought all the free gifts to actually use them as gifts?
Oh, that's fine.
Would that have been an exploit, even though they're free?
I don't know. They didn't say that. But I think the exploit really is... The exploit is buying them for free and then selling them back for something. I think if you buy them and it's accidentally free or cheaper in this case,
Right.
it's okay.
Do we have a list of the
I think it's just the one vendor, honestly.
right? But does it give a list of which ones give you the most bang for their buck for less?
Well, that you'll have to look online for that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It depends on what companion you're buying for too. So
I might have to go take advantage of that.
yeah, no, I'm gonna go buy some cheaper ones because I have only like 6 level 50 companions. So
I have one.
all right, so let's see. Oh, I already talked about that one. There was another bug where some of the chess pieces got some colors switched around. And last couple things here. Somebody said, have things been, as far as GSF, has the EMP been nerfed too hard? And I'm just putting the link in the show notes because I haven't been playing GSF in forever. Brett Hoffman basically listed what was changed of the EMP missiles. And he says the intended functionality is this. And the bug should be fixed in 5.6.1. So I'm throwing that out there in case you're a GSF dude. And discipline performance is off. So there are some disciplines that are performing better than others.
Really?
Indeed. So it says a handful of disciplines are currently performing better than they should be. This is due to a number of unintended passive benefits which are being applied to them. There's no in-game indication on your character of whether it is not as applying to you, but it's a bug related to some set bonuses. And this will be addressed in a future update. So if you notice you are healing 4 or doing more damage than usual, that's why. Boy, that's going to be nice for some people, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, now it's time to clear up all those old quests that you couldn't beat before.
Yeah, I'm just a tank, so here we are. All right, man. And the last thing, this literally popped up a few hours ago. Musco put a pretty good post up. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he said right now, daily missions are doing less CXP than they should be. The idea was that they were trying to balance CXP across the game.
Right.
But the way the Group Finder is now and the activities window, there's an issue. So the goal with this change is that they're going to basically triple the CXP rewards with 5.6.1 on all the planetary heroic missions and daily area missions. They're going to be tripled to 225 and up from 75.
Okay.
So right now you're not getting as much as you should, and it's a result of some of the things they were trying to do.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
not the end of the world, but that's kind of my primary source of CXP and stuff. So it's kind of a bummer. But I have 11 days, and I play twice a week. So here we are.
Jeez, dude.
So overall, dude, before we get out of this section, because we've been here long enough, what do you think overall 5.6? Stoked? Quality of life, good?
Yeah, actually, I really haven't delved into the quality of life stuff. I just played the Flashpoint. But I really enjoyed it. Theron's got a new look, which is interesting. So
Yeah.
But
I've heard about that.
yeah, but I liked it. It was a fun Flashpoint.
Holy crap, is that true, Trig? You can max a companion for 450k?
That sounded light.
Usually it was around 10 mil. Because I've maxed all mine. It usually was around 10 million credits in order to max them. That's, or maybe 5. One of the two. But 450k, I'm going to go do that after this.
Yeah.
Well, good. Thanks for that. Hopefully that's true because that's badass. All right, man. So anything else?
No, I think I'm ready to go on to Star Wars.
Are you, though? You don't seem ready. You're just saying stuff, I feel like, now.
I'm ready to put my boot up your ass.
That's inappropriate. All right, moving on.
At least I don't have to lift it too high.
I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for. Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
So, top of the list.
Tickets!
Yeah, finally got our damn tickets for this movie.
Yeah, we live in a small town that has no... no
Well, it's a 4-theater little town. 4 screens, I should say.
Yeah, no Fandango presence.
Yeah. But what's interesting about it is half my students work at the theater, and we've known the people that run the theater for long enough. So if we harass them enough, eventually it happens. They put the tickets up today. We have our tickets. We got our party set.
Yeah, I think we were the first 2 people to buy tickets.
I'm pretty sure I was, yeah.
You were first, I was second.
I was first, yeah. So I bought my tickets, and I'm stoked. So here
Word.
we
Yay!
are. Ryan Johnson, he made some comments on his new Star Wars trilogy. It's super vague.
Of course.
Shocking, right? He basically just made a couple blanket statements. Let me close some of this stuff before we get going here. He said he was asked, he did a press event in Mexico for The Last Jedi, and he spoke about his plans for the new trilogy and where he's at in the planning phase. He says, we're going to have to see. I'm just in the very beginning of starting to come up with what the new trilogy is going to be. And he says, what makes me so excited about it is the idea of doing a new story on a big canvas of 3 movies in this world. And there's just so much potential. And he said he can't wait to jump into it. Clearly, they're not letting him say anything else.
Of course.
And then, of course, the other comment was, we had the time of our lives collaborating with Lucasfilm and Disney on The Last Jedi. And this is Johnson and Bergman said in a joint statement, Star Wars is the greatest modern mythology, and we feel lucky to have contributed to it. Can't wait to continue with the new series of films. And, of course, Kathleen Kennedy, which we read a couple weeks ago, I think she said this. We all love working with Ryan on The Last Jedi. He's a creative force, etc., which we talked about a few weeks ago.
Absolutely.
And clearly this is the reason that he got the gig, is because he is easy to work with, and they like him.
Yeah, he plays nice with the corporate structure.
And that's it, dude. I mean, it's weird. After all the firings around the last couple movies and all the stuff that's going on, it's interesting. They finally found someone like a J.J. Abrams in Ryan Johnson to where it's like, hey, you want to do this thing?
Well,
do you want to do it this way? Okay.
Well, you have to. I mean, there's always been the people that have always played well within the corporate structure, like J.J. Abrams and Joss Whedon and Ron Howard and Ridley Scott. All these people, and then even the auteurs that tend to, go by their own drum.
Right.
Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, and I think they were trying to get more and more of the other people.
Yeah.
And not the corporate friendly people.
Exactly. This is interesting. I'm only going to read the headline. The rest of it doesn't really matter what she says specifically. But Daisy Ridley doesn't want to play Rey after Star Wars Episode 9. Now, she doesn't necessarily come out and say like, I refuse to do anything Star Wars related. But
it just sounds a lot. It sounds very Harrison Fordy.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm going to do my 3 movies, and then I'm going to go do a bunch of other stuff.
Yes.
Right. Do you think? I'm wondering why this came up. Only in that, I don't want to say like they had plans for Rey after the trilogy.
No, I honestly think it just came up that she probably was asked a question in a junket interview saying, "Well, what have you heard about the new trilogy?"
Right.
And she's like, "I haven't heard anything,
And I'm done.
I'm done."
and I'm fine with that, dude.
Absolutely.
She's adorable. She's a great actress.
Yeah, but you can't hang on to these. There's so much.
Good God, man.
There's so. Why don't you burp again though?
I know. I'm doing a lot of burping today.
There's a.
It's the sculpin.
There's a whole world out there that they can go on to. It's like, come on.
No, for sure.
Like,
And
we don't have to go back to Boba Fett. You know what I mean?
well, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So, what do you got here?
Yeah, so Denis Villeneuve, who was one of the people who was on the rumored to be on the short list for Episode 9, once Trevorrow was taken off, before JJ was brought back in, and who does fantastic work. He just did Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, okay.
He did The Arrival.
Oh, that's why that name sounds familiar.
Fantastic work. He has come out and said that he would like to do a Star Wars movie, but one that isn't part of the saga. So he would like to do a standalone story.
Interesting. Okay.
I honestly think he would be fantastic in doing Kenobi.
That would be cool.
I think seeing Villeneuve's direction of the Kenobi.
Now,
story-
did this just come out of nowhere? Is he just talking about it, or do you think they're talking to him?
Well, Blade Runner 2049 is just about to come out on Blu-ray in iTunes later this month.
Uh-huh.
So they're starting to promote that a little bit. Plus, he's in between projects right now, and he was on the short list for Episode 9, so it just makes sense that he would be one of the voices they'd be asking.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. Let's get to last. Damn it! Now that you said it. Oh, really?
Sorry, guys.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
So this is why we do it live, so you can hear all the fun. Okay, so Last Jedi. Exact runtime is officially announced, dude. It is...
Sorry, really quick to interrupt, but DVD House just jumped into chat and said, wow, the area by that companion vendor on the fleet is packed.
Oh, I'm sure. You're going to have to wade through all the madness over there. I'm headed there later. Don't worry. I'll wait till it slows down a little bit. It's like you don't go to the Safeway at 5 o'clock.
I know, right?
You wait until 10. All right, guys. So... Last Jedi, exact runtime officially announced. We talked about this a couple weeks ago where they said it's probably going to be the longest.
Yeah, 2:31.
And it is 151 minutes and 38 seconds, which is 2.5 hours
31
long.
minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So here we are. That's it.
Yeah, that's and I'm okay with that.
Dude, I wish it was 4 hours.
That might be a little too much.
I don't care. Anyway, I'm not going to talk much about this. I didn't get through all of it. EW, there's been, I think, Empire. There's some of the magazines are starting to do their
Photo shoots.
Their photo shoots and press stuff around Last Jedi. There's a really cool article in here I'll grab one snippet from it. But
you're talking about it. I posted something to Pinterest this week, and it was the image of the old Luke.
Yeah.
The old and age Luke in the Millennium Falcon cockpit.
Right. And so the name of the article, or this is Luke comes home, Mark Hamill's heartbreaking return to the Millennium Falcon in The Last Jedi. And it says, I'm telling you, I didn't expect to have the reaction I had. I was there with my family, with my children, Nathan and Griffin and Chelsea, and my wife, Marlou. And Lucasfilm asked if the documentary crew could be there when I came back on the Millennium Falcon. I mean, this was not on the shooting day. I was just in street clothes and going to visit the set, and I said, sure. And it said, it didn't take long for it to overwhelm him. It was sort of like visiting an old house that you've lived in when you were a kid. I mean, I just welled up with emotion, and I said, I need to be by myself.
Yeah, well, what's funny is I actually don't remember him being in the Falcon at all in Jedi.
In Jedi he wasn't, but he spent
he was in Empire.
Empire and obviously in A New Hope as well.
Right, but I'm saying, so like he hasn't been
He hasn't been in a
set,
while.
on the Millennium Falcon set since 1980.
Yeah, but it's like if I were to go back to a house I lived at in 1980, I'd
If
be
you went
like,
back to the Smurf house,
if I went back to the Smurf house, even
which is actually no longer there.
yeah, it's one of the houses we spent a lot of
party.
time at in when we were in college.
It's such a small house.
it's one of
Marshall
those
can
things.
reach the ceiling.
I could. I felt like a giant. Anyway, but that's kind of cool, man. It's kind of nice to see
or really
that.
you just felt how normal people.
You know what? I was trying to keep this nice, and then you had to be rude. Anyway.
I love you, Marshall.
Okay. Anyway, that's enough of that. All right. So I like that story. There's more to it, obviously, and there's a lot of other articles in EW and some other stuff that's coming out. Ryan Johnson also says that this is, I don't think should be very surprising. I didn't dive into it. I'm trying to avoid some spoilers. But Ryan Johnson claims Rey and Kylo are dual protagonists.
Which actually I think is a little bit better, or a little bit deeper of a comment than I think you do. Is it's very much how like Force Awakens was very much how Godfather was, right?
Mhm.
Like how the main protagonist was obviously Michael Corleone, and here was Rey. And everyone else, you had minor other protagonists, right? Like Vito or whatever. But in the
Right.
second Godfather, you had Vito and Michael being dual protagonists in different storylines. And I think we're going to see that here because, honestly, we're going to see Kylo as a major protagonist in the backstory part of the Knights of Ren and that whole
Right.
thing. Plus, with him later on, also a main temple.
Interesting.
So I think it'll be a really good... I think Ryan Johnson's going to do well in that storytelling aspect.
Yeah, I think so too. I like this idea. I like that it's dual protagonists.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between a protagonist and an antagonist.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think since this is the middle of the trilogy, we're going to have, obviously it's going to be darker. We're going to have this, okay, are we supposed to like Kylo after what he's done?
This could almost be a yin and yang of a hero's journey, anti-hero's journey.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like, are we supposed to like Kylo? Are we supposed to sympathize with him? Are we supposed to see where he's coming from?
I think we're at least supposed to understand him.
Well, and I hope we do, and I think that's going to make JJ's job really interesting in episode 9, depending on where they go with 7 or with 8. You know what I mean?
Right. I think that's one thing that where Lucas dropped the ball in the prequel trilogy is like he had a prime opportunity to give us a deep understanding of the Anakin character, and really it just got boiled down to he hates sand and loses the high ground.
Sand sucks. Well, and it's interesting. So the antagonist obviously is still Snoke.
Oh, absolutely.
And the antagonist has always been Snoke. Just like in the other trilogy, the antagonist was really Palpatine and was Palpatine the whole time.
Yes.
Right? And that's, you have the redemption of Vader and you have all this other stuff going on. So this is going to be a really interesting couple of movies, I think.
I think so too. And I think Ryan Johnson is the person to tell the story. I mean,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Looper a lot more than I think most other people did.
I really enjoyed that movie.
So
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does.
Yeah. Before we go forward, I feel bad. Kidley seems to be the only one having issues with us. But he said he's listening to other streams. We sound fine, but we sound roboty and soft to him.
Weird.
So if anybody else has audio issues, please let us know. But I think nobody else has said anything, and my levels look okay. So if you have issues, please let us know. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
All right. So I don't understand this. I mean, I think. Oh, I'm going to read the headline. You tell me what you think. The Last Jedi will feature a BB-8 versus BB-9E showdown.
I am on board with that.
Is it going to be like, you know how when R2 like fought those two droids in the prequel trilogy, where like there's fire, he does a thing, and then he just like takes off. Like, is this going to be like freaking epic robot fights, or what is this going to be about?
I don't. Okay, two things. I don't think it's going to be like BattleBots.
Thanks, Keen.
Where it's all going to be just like fire and arm out of nowhere and stuff like that. I also don't think it's going to be like those rubber things that you get in that are like balls and you match up against them. What I honestly think it's going to be is the scene in Force Awakens when they're on the Falcon when they first leave Jakku and they're flying around and she's doing all the flips and stuff.
Yeah.
And you see how BB-8 functions in a three-dimensional sphere.
Oh, that's
where
interesting.
He shoots the grappling hooks off to things, and all of a sudden his head's on the top and everything. I think it's going to be a lot more of that, where they're going to be using their grappling instruments and stuff like that, very much like how Spider-Man would use his webs.
Or very much like remember how Yoda was flipping around with that fight with Palpatine?
Yeah, but that was just
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
no, absolutely.
like you're.
I think
we're gonna get a little more.
unlike R2D2, it's going to be much more of an environmental fight.
Okay.
They're going to use their surroundings.
All right, we'll see. I don't know, man. I don't know about this BB9E character.
I just hope there's a porg in the middle that they're fighting over, going.
I just hope it gets smushed. If BB-8 falls on him, he's like, thumbs up. Sorry, buddy. Okay, that's enough of that. All right, so do we want to talk about this story or not? This popped up in our feed. Somebody from our Twitter group threw this out there, having to do with a petition to make this thing happen. What do you think? Well,
I think just like any other petition that's been, that nothing is going to come of.
Well, nothing's going to come of it. So really what it is, and the article is well written, and it's pretty, I mean, obviously they have their opinion, but this petition calls for, for Lucasfilm to revoke EA's Star Wars license based off of what they've done with the license with Battlefronts and various other things.
No, because they've knocked it out of the park with SWTOR. And they knocked it out of the park with KOTOR. They just...
SWTOR's been around for a while. It's just the stuff since then, though.
Yeah, but it's...
But then you have the games that have fallen, the visceral stuff, like all the stuff that's like not happening. Like, I don't know. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to drop it.
Okay.
I'm going to say, go to the link, read the article. If you're compelled to sign the petition, do it. You're not... Should I just cut the whole thing?
No, it's fine.
Don't sigh at me like that. Anyway, dude, what do you...
spent years trying to get me to play a video game, and now that I'm invested...
No, but what I'm saying is that I just think, from what I've read in the article, it has to do with the last couple of years and their handling of the license. Nothing to do with SWTOR and KOTOR.
Right, no, I totally get
This has to do with what's happened recently, especially with the debacle with Battlefront 2
Right,
and
the
all
pay
that
to win
stuff and
stuff,
pay
yeah.
to win, all that. So that's where the article is coming from.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Are we offline?
I'm showing as being live.
Oh, okay.
All right, so...
I just never refreshed the page, I guess.
So last week there was a new documentary that dropped for home use for iTunes and Blu-ray, and it's called American Jedi, and it's a documentary about an American guy who delves into the concept of Jedi as a religion.
Oh, that's right. That's
And
good.
because it's an official religion in Australia, New Zealand, a whole bunch of other countries.
Yeah.
But it's a guy basically trying to live the way of the... And so I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been able to get a copy of it that I can watch yet.
I've heard of it.
But I want to watch it. It just came out for Blu-ray and iTunes on the 21st.
I heard it was coming. I just didn't know, how good it was going to be.
Yeah, so I want to check it out.
We'll see. And parks news before we get out of Star Wars. Galaxy's Edge planet has been finally revealed.
So it's no longer just called Galaxy's Edge?
It's not called Galaxy's Edge. The name of the planet, before I get some weird background noise, is called, excuse me, Batuu. Batuu. Batuu.
Kind of like Octu.
Octu. Batuu. But yeah,
Cool.
so
All
the name
right.
of the planet that we feature in Disneyland and Walt Disney World version of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is Batuu.
Nice.
And they describe it as this. This remote outpost in the Galaxy's Edge was once a busy crossroads along the old sublight trade routes, but its prominence was bypassed by the rise of hyperspace travel. Now home to those who prefer to stay out of the mainstream, it has become a thriving port for smugglers, rogue traders, and adventurers traveling between the frontier and uncharted space. It is also a convenient safe haven for those who intend on avoiding the expanding reach of the First Order. While Batuu may be new to us, it is clearly already familiar to many characters from the Star Wars saga as a stepping off point for epic adventures.
So you're basically saying it's Radiator Springs.
Yeah, but it's called Batuu.
But it's Radiator Springs.
Batuu. Batuu.
All right.
Yes, Radiator Springs in the Star Wars universe. I got you, buddy.
Cool. All right. I'm excited.
Are you? You don't seem excited.
Dude,
It's because you're being mean to me earlier. Now I'm getting back at you. Okay, you ready for the last section of this madness? Did you just yawn again?
No, I was making a funny face on.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, here we go.
I can't imagine any kind of future where I'm a hero.
Well, you're not.
In the future, none of you are heroes. You're legends.
Oops, I never made a new thing for the roundup.
All right, so unfortunately, we got to start with the bad news first. We lost a couple of icons this last couple of weeks since we recorded last. The big one that most people know about is David Cassidy. Both these people are going to be too old for most of our listeners to know, but David Cassidy, of course, was the lead singer of the Partridge Family. They had the big, massive hit, I Think I Love You.
Right.
And, he's part of the Partridge Family. It's big. I mean, I remember my older sisters having big crushes on David Cassidy and Sean Cassidy and all the Cassidys. The second one, and actually, I think even fewer people know this one, is Mel Tillis.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Well, he was a part of the Country Music Hall of Fame. He's a
Okay.
famous country singer. He has a daughter named Pam Tillis, who is still a country singer. She actually just came out with a new album a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But most people know Mel Tillis. Where do you remember the Cannonball Run movie with Burt Reynolds?
Barely.
Okay, there were the two rednecks that were driving the stock car, and it was Terry Bradshaw.
Okay. Terry Bradshaw? Oh,
Yeah,
my God.
And the other guy, and it was basically they were because they said we got enough beer, and they had like a case of like cases of beer in their trunk.
Right.
And they said, "Do we have enough food?" And we have enough food, and he holds up like a bag of chips. He's like, plenty. Well, his co-driver in that movie was Mel Tillis.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man.
And so my sister and I still quote that line back and forth.
Well, that's sad.
So it's still sad. Mel Tillis, he had some great songs. He
But he wasn't really young, was he?
oh no, he was
Yeah.
in his 80s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, as Kevin Smith says, big bucket of wind.
Big bucket of wind.
Indeed.
Yes.
What do we got?
This one, again, we don't like to get really political on this show. We do have our opinions, but
I have opinions.
exactly. But with all of the sexual harassment and claims coming out, okay, I'm not going to go political route with it, but there have been a lot of entertainment people. Obviously, we lost, Kevin
Oh,
Spacey
man.
got kicked off of House of Cards.
Right.
One of the
We have another big one that we'll talk about later.
yeah, one of my favorite new shows from this fall is Wisdom of the Crowd
Okay.
with Jeremy Piven and the actress who played Nymphadora Tonks in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy Piven had been not charged, but
Accused.
thank you, accused of multiple instances. And so they just decided we're going to pull the plug after 13 episodes. So they're going to get a front order of the 13. Because if you don't know, a traditional TV season, you're given a front order of 13 episodes, especially on a first series. And then you get 9 on the backside to give you a full season of 22. They're just, CBS is not going to pick up the 9 on the backside, and they're just going to get 13. I really like the storyline in it. I just hope they finish it off before it ends. But
That's a bummer, man.
No, it's a bummer for us that enjoy the content.
Right.
But you have to stick up to that thing. It's like I'm sorry, he's got to go.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it's a bummer too because that's the issue I think that a lot of us are having when we see some of our favorite actors or showrunners come up against this stuff. It's like I love what they've done, but I hate what they've done. Do you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
it's like I'm going to bring politics in without being political.
let me put it differently. I love what they've created, but I hate
Right.
what they've done.
The thing is, when politicians do this, it's a lot easier to be on one side or the other because you're already on one side or the other normally.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to entertainment, it's harder to lose that
Yeah.
because no matter what their politics are, you still have that connection to the material.
Right.
Where you don't have that with Al Franken or
Exactly.
Roy Moore or Donald Trump or Conyers. You
Right.
know, on both sides of the aisle. But with entertainment, you're losing the content as
Yeah,
well as
exactly.
the person.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm a little bummed because I like the House of Cards is great too.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
these
And they're not
people-
coming back with that.
Yeah,
so.
well, and these people honestly
Not
honestly
your turn.
deserve to lose their jobs over this. So
Well, sure, of course they deserve to lose their jobs, but it's the consumers of the content and the storylines that they were a part of that we're all going to miss out on.
Exactly. But, as being good global citizens.
Humans.
Being good humans. We've got to be willing to give up that content.
Oh, no. I'm fine with it.
Absolutely.
It's a bummer for a second. It's like, well, that makes sense.
Exactly. So one of my favorite all-time shows is The West Wing.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about politics, whatever. I just love the writing. Sports Night was also great. The Newsroom, all great stuff. There's been talks about if they're going to bring back West Wing at any point, whatever. And of course, Aaron Sorkin, who was the writer-creator, has been busy because he won an Oscar for Social Network. He also wrote Charlie Wilson's War.
Right.
He just wrote something recently. The new one he wrote is Molly's Game, which is getting a lot of buzz this year, based on a true story. But he's also doing a live version of A Few Good Men to be done on NBC, I think, but that's been pushed back.
Right.
But he's actually come out and said that he would actually like to do a reboot, not a reboot, a reuniting of it, but it actually take place in a future where there's a different president.
Oh, interesting.
That it gets taken into a war, and he has to talk to Martin Sheen as President Bartlett.
That'd be cool.
And he's kind of mirroring it on what happened when Clinton was going to war in Bosnia and Herzegovina and all that stuff, in Somalia. He actually used to talk to Nixon, somebody from the other side of the aisle.
Interesting.
Because Nixon obviously was in war in Vietnam. So
right.
It just goes how there's so few people that have held that position where they kind of have to rely on each other. And there's if you don't watch The West Wing, there's a really good episode in season 5 called The Stormy Present.
Yeah.
And they're talking about riots that are happening in Iran. And you see 3 different presidents on the plane, 2 former presidents and the current president, and they're all talking about it. And you're seeing different points of view from a very limited group of people to pull that experience from, which is very cool.
I realized we may have lost the people that wanted to watch it, but we forgot to throw on Infinity War again.
Well, let's throw it on right now. And I will agree with John Skeen. Yes, all these people are entitled to a fair trial and not immediately feel guilty verdict is a very good way to put it. But once they have apologized and acknowledged that it's happened, then they can obviously lose their jobs. If they are fighting tooth and nail with it, yeah, but obviously you've got to put it into a court. But
I think the preemptive not preemptive firings, but stopping the shows or and that kind of thing really comes down to backlash for the network and the show itself around it. Like they just don't want to be associated with whether it's true or not. I think is what the issue with Skeen is saying.
Right, exactly. And we're actually going to come up with, I think, the way the perfect way the network handled it with CW with Andrew Kreisberg, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But let's watch the Infinity War.
Yeah, so sorry, guys. We forgot to throw on Infinity War. We're going to watch this trailer one more time. If you have seen it, if you haven't seen it, feel free to throw something in the chat. It's worth watching again because we love it, and it's amazing.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if we could become something more. So when they needed us, we could fight the battles
that they never could.
So desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it, run from it, destiny still arrives.
Evacuate the city. Engage all defenses and get this man a shield.
something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face. Who the hell are you guys?
That last shot makes me so happy, dude. I love it.
My favorite
I love
scene
it.
is still the Spidey sense on the bus.
I don't know, man. My two favorite are the last shot, obviously, because I love Guardians. They're like my favorite part of the Marvel universe. I also love Thor, especially after watching Ragnarok, which we'll talk about next week. The humor that comes along with him, but that scene, and also of course with Cap and those guys and Hulk running at the enemy, I think that's badass. So
Yeah, and Blake makes a great point, and this is actually they're getting a lot of pushback on social media this week.
no Ant-Man.
No Ant-Man or Hawkeye.
Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah, well they're there, but they're
Of
just
course
not
they're
in
there,
this trailer.
but they're not in the trailer. But think about it. There's only 60 something. What was the last count? 69, 68 different heroes or whatever that are going to be part of this.
Right, exactly.
So I mean, we'll get some other trailers, I think, with them in it.
Oh, absolutely. Plus, you got to remember we still have 7 months to go.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of time. So
It's too small to see.
that's a good point
Good
too.
point. Where was the Wasp too? So
And the Wasp. I mean, there's people missing, man. You know.
Yeah.
Definitely some people missing.
Absolutely. Last bit of
Do we want to let go of this? There's some people still talking about the thing we were talking about before.
And it was actually in every scene. Yeah, I think we can let it go. Everyone has their own viewpoints, and I think we've talked about it enough over the last few episodes.
Yeah, and we've literally been talking about this every week, and we've been trying actually not to. Only in that we're going to talk about it in a minute, so we can bring your stuff up here in a second. I think.
Yeah, I don't think the trailer gives up too much.
I don't think so at all. I mean, I don't think you really get even what. I mean, obviously we knew Thanos was coming, and we know
He was trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line. The rest of it, we don't know the inner conflicts with the characters. We don't know the larger scheme of the galaxy or whatever. I think it's gonna be fine. We'll see.
No, and DVD House, you didn't derail the chat at all. That's why our podcast is a little bit different. We like to go off on tangents.
Oh, we'll tangent the shit out of something.
Yeah, we will.
And I will edit the shit out of what I just said. So that's why I like recording live, because if you listen back to the audio of this, like I will edit out my cuss words sometimes. Sometimes I actually have been leaving some in because I really don't care.
I know, right? The last bit of the TV news: George Clooney's actually coming back to television.
Really?
He's going to be doing a limited.
When was the last time he was on ER?
ER, 20 years. I think he left in 1997, so it's been 20 years. And he's going to be coming back, and he's going to be doing a reworking of Catch-22.
Interesting. See how that goes.
Yeah,
I love me some Clooney.
Yeah, Clooney's good.
All right, let's jump through some review stuff.
We got a couple of casting news here. There's a new Netflix movie coming out called Super Normal, and it's a superhero movie.
Okay.
It's going to be produced by Josh Gad.
It's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? Super normal?
Yeah.
Like Jumbo Shrimp?
Exactly.
Continue.
Josh Gad, who does the voice of Olaf, he was in Book of Mormon.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it's going to star Daisy Ridley and Lucas Evans.
Nice. That's exciting.
So that'll be nice.
See how that goes.
Noah Baumbach, who is...
Is that how you say that? Baumbach?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is getting a lot of Oscar buzz for a movie he came out with this year. He's done a couple things. It was mostly his first big movie was Squid and the Whale. He got nominated for an Oscar for. He's done a couple other ones. He's doing his next film, which doesn't have any... We don't know anything about it yet. But it's going to star Adam Driver, Laura Dern, and Scarlett Johansson. So that's going to be a cast right there.
Regardless, I want to watch that movie because I love all three of them.
Exactly.
So we watched a bunch of trailers, and this has been I left this in this section of the show just to kind of throw out there again. If you liked what we just did with the Infinity War trailer, We normally, before each show, we'll watch a bunch of trailers and recent trailers and talk about them, and we put that off as a separate video for our patrons. So
yeah, well, it's free to watch if you watch us live on Twitch.
sure.
But
and if I forget to take it down tonight and not till tomorrow.
But it's also a Patreon exclusive after that.
Yeah, and so, if you give us anything, $1 or $2 an episode to support the show, you'll get that, blooper reels, and various other things, and the show's a little bit early. So if you like what we're doing, if it's your first time in, thanks for watching, and that's what we do. So here we are.
All right.
Universal stuff, dude. Let's get to our last section. Universal usual. We got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the first thing we're going to talk about is Berlanti, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about, the sexual harassment stuff. Andrew Kreisberg, who is an EP on almost all the DC Universe stuff on CW, and I believe he was one of the showrunners on Flash for a while.
Yeah, and Supergirl.
I don't. He was a producer. I don't think he was the showrunner.
Oh, okay.
But he had been charged. But CW handled this right. His accusations were almost as early as Kevin Spacey. He was one of the first ones to be accused.
Right. Because we had talked about this, didn't we?
Right, a few months, about a month ago.
Right.
But he was pulled off working.
Right.
He was put on suspension.
That's
now
right.
that they have cause, now he's been fired.
Exactly.
That's how you do it.
Right. And so, and this is because of this section of the show and what we talk about on this show, this was big enough to bring back, obviously. Kreisberg is a big part of these shows.
Yeah, he's one of Berlanti's lieutenants.
Yeah, and you're just not too big to be taken down, I guess is what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of the underlying deal right now. You're not too powerful to be taken down, I guess.
Exactly.
So which is too bad, because Kreisberg, again, I like the stuff that he's done.
Very talented.
And stuff that he's created and been in charge of.
But no excuse.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So DCEU. This is there has been so much of this. I don't even know if you want to talk about this, but there's an article in here that says Ben Affleck is already considering his Batman exit. So basically, he's trying to figure out when he's going to be done. And we knew that he was going to do that anyway. He already kind of stepped back from directing and all this stuff. But he's playing the Batman now. But it's only going to be probably, I think he's going to be done pretty quick.
Okay. I'm going to say this.
What are you going to say?
Get off Batfleck's back, because
I'm not on it.
No, not you. I'm saying
I wish I was.
People, because
I like that.
How many different people have played Batman? Adam West?
4?
No, Adam West, Michael
yeah.
Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, and now Batfleck. So 6.
He's 6.
Okay.
Yep. How
many people played Superman? George Reeves, Christopher Reeves, Brandon Routh, Tom Welling.
You're the only one who's going to remember all this.
And what's his name now? It's just like you've got 6 different people that have played each of those major characters.
I think it's funny how you couldn't remember the guy from Now.
I know.
What is his name? Something stupid. What's his name? Anyway, doesn't matter.
But how many people played Wonder Woman? Linda Carter, Gal Gadot. Now, all these characters are designed. Their characters have been around for almost 100 years, 75 years at least, sometimes close to 100 years. And you're going to have multiple people playing them.
Cavill.
Thank you, Henry
Thanks,
Cavill.
DVD.
Thank you, DVD.
So before you rant too much.
No, I'm just saying.
You seem upset.
No, I'm just saying it's okay.
It is okay.
They bring in new people all the time.
I think you know what the issue is, obviously.
That they don't like Ben Affleck.
No, it's not they don't like him. It's like, I think that what Affleck brings to it is the gravitas of like a director, high-end actor,
right?
All this stuff, and that they were like, well, you're too good to play Batman. So as soon as he's like, he plays Batman for a couple times, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go do something else. And I'm like, what? You can't play Batman anymore? You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of where it's coming from.
Were they
honestly?
Okay, and I honestly,
because
that's where I'm actually gonna have a little kerfuffle with the fans.
Ooh, kerfuffle.
Because by you saying that, you're insinuating that he's slumming it, and by saying but by saying that, they're diminishing their own worth.
I'm not.
Not you.
I think you're blaming me, but here's
I always blame you.
Indeed. So here's what I'm saying. I think that here's the issue. If those movies had done better and were received better, this wouldn't be an issue.
No.
At all.
No.
Because he wouldn't be slumming it. He'd be part of whatever blockbuster
Exactly.
awesomeness that is.
But I don't think the box office.
It's not box office numbers.
No,
I'm talking
it's the
about
critical
perceived quality of the movies
Right.
compared to what else is out there in that genre.
Right.
Right.
I don't think that affects Ben Affleck's choice, though.
No.
I think that affects.
I think he was going to do it anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
Because honestly, anybody that can live through Gigli and Jersey Girl,
Yeah. Oh God.
can
Jersey
handle
Girl.
anything.
Oh God. But that wasn't his first Kevin Smith property either. But all right. So on that note, because we could go down that one, director, the director of the Batman,
right, Matt Reeves,
is rumored to want Jake Gyllenhaal to replace to be Batman if Affleck leaves. It's a rumor.
No, I like it.
But what do you think?
I think Gyllenhaal's a great actor.
Yeah.
I
like him.
He's definitely gonna have to bulk up a little bit more.
It's easy to bulk up.
It is
if you have a personal trainer and the right foods.
It is, but I mean, he's already tried to bulk up before for Jarhead. And
oh, that's
a couple
right.
of
I
other
forgot he
things.
was in that one.
But
yeah.
he becomes more sinewy and less bulky.
Okay.
Which is fine. I mean, which is neither here nor there. I always thought Ben Affleck got a little too big for it anyway.
He was a monster, dude.
I
want Griggs to play Batman too. I don't know if you have the voice, dude. You gotta have the voice.
I don't have the voice.
Well,
can you imagine Batman with a lisp?
You could be like,
I am the Knight of Gotham.
You could be like a totally different take on like old Batman. I love it. Okay.
Awesome.
So anyway, Jake Gyllenhaal, I think that's interesting. I don't know. I think he could obviously pull it off.
But on the other hand, Keaton wasn't bulked either.
Yeah, throw him in the right suit.
Exactly. Well,
put him on the right diet.
No
He'll
nipples.
Be fine. Put the nipples
You
on
like
there.
the nipples.
Yeah, slap the nipples on there, dude. A good nipple. It's fine. Don't act like you don't want to talk about that. Disney news.
All right, yeah, you go in with this one.
Oh, so it turns out we talked about this about a month ago.
Well, actually, over the last couple episodes.
Yeah, they were talking about Disney is in talks to pick up aspects of Fox, 21st century Fox, not obviously Fox News and stuff like that, but the
just the entertainment division,
entertainment part of it.
And obviously, they want this because they want to get Deadpool and X-Men back.
And that kind of thing. Plus, they'd have access to early Star Wars stuff, and there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, actually, their very first Star Wars movie, they get distribution rights back.
Exactly. So there's obviously a lot at stake here if Disney does do this. And from what I gained from the article, it kind of petered out for a little bit, but it seems to be picking up steam again. So I imagine we're going to hear about something in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I would like it to happen. But actually, I have a little bit of news that it's a couple weeks on, but I'm going to bring it up now.
Yeah.
That Sony is actually also trying to put in a bid for Fox.
Really?
Yes,
that would be interesting.
It would be. The reason why I think it's Sony just trying to play their hand a little bit more against Disney. Because they obviously already have their partnership deal with Spider-Man
and stuff, yeah.
And they think that if they can go ahead and get the Fox property, then they can keep something away from Disney while still being able to bring the X-Men and Fantastic Four and Deadpool properties
and still be able to do their thing
back over to Marvel.
Well, because I mean, think about it. Sony's got a lot going on.
Yeah, basically, Sony wants to wet their beak in the deal. That's what they want.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. Sony doesn't have Disney money.
No, they don't.
So I imagine if it comes down to money,
but
it's
they
going
do
to
have
be Disney.
But they do have PlayStation money.
That's true, but I don't know.
Sony's not empty pockets.
No, I'm not saying they are. It'll be really interesting to see how that shakes out.
True.
We'll keep an eye on this next couple weeks.
Absolutely.
I imagine in the new year they're going to come up with something.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure. What else we got? Oh, Disney has their. Didn't you bring up Mulan last week? Or 2 weeks ago when we recorded?
We brought Mulan a couple weeks ago because they were changing directors.
Oh, right. Okay. But they cast their main character, I believe.
Yeah, it's not anybody that we would really... I mean, she's done a couple of English title movies.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
English language movies. But she's very well known in China. Her name is...
Liu Yifei.
And she's done quite a bit of stuff. But she checkmarked all the boxes they wanted. They wanted English speaking. They wanted Chinese fluent.
Right.
They wanted martial arts expert.
What was she in that I've seen her in this something before? Looks really familiar. Maybe I'm tripping. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but anyway, so it's great that they've got their star.
Cool. Yeah. I'm actually somewhat intrigued by the Mulan one, more so than rehashes of, Beauty and the Beast
Right.
and stuff like that.
Okay, the one thing...
It's more of a, I don't want to say period piece, but it's more of a historical
Right. The one
deal.
thing that I think they have to be really careful with Mulan is of all the stuff that they've redone so far, it's either been Western or Northern European friendly.
True.
Such as Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, stuff like that, Maleficent, stuff like that. Or if it does take place somewhere else in the world, Lion King and Jungle Book,
right,
it's heavily CGI characters.
True.
So you don't have to worry so much as when it comes to race and ethnicity. They're going to have to deal a little bit more with Aladdin when they're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
But their casting choices there are very similar to how they're dealing with Mulan.
Right.
But they also do the same thing with Mulan. They've got to be very...
I wonder if they're going to do the dragon thing and all that. Are they going to do that? Or
I really don't know.
Huh.
But I think they've got to be much more sensitive with their casting. No Emma Stone.
Yeah,
playing the Japanese
she was
woman.
in a Nick Cage movie. Okay. Yeah, thanks, dude. All right, man. Let's see. Marvel news? Do you want to do this?
Yeah, let's do Marvel.
Or do you want to just skip it? I'm just kidding. So this article, I read this earlier. This is actually kind of interesting. The Guardians of the Galaxy director, obviously James Gunn, is possibly working on spin-off characters. And not just spin-off characters from Guardians, but just like general, like more obscure Marvel characters that he wants to do something with.
Right. Well, if you watch the end of Guardians 2...
yeah, what is it? Adam Warlock.
Yeah, well,
yes.
Warlock is heavily brought up there. But you also saw a different iteration of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
With Sylvester Stallone as the head Ravager. He's also a Guardian.
For sure.
And from a video that I watched, I can't remember which one it was. It was either on What Culture or on Nerdist. That iteration, which I didn't know, is actually the iteration from 1969.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that grouping that Sylvester Stallone was with at the end of the movie is an actual established
set.
Guardian set.
Huh. That'd be cool, man. So who knows where they're going to go with it? Obviously, it's in the early planning stages, but it is what it is. And other random Marvel news, Agent Carter, which was what, ABC?
Yeah, it was. Okay, this is actually, I think, a very important story. Agent Carter is going to be going to Hulu.
Right.
It's going to be having both full seasons, right? The reason why I think this is interesting is because since Disney's going to be doing their own streaming service...
I was going to say, they're doing their own
thing. Why
thing.
are they already pushing to Hulu? Especially since Marvel's Runaways is already on Hulu, right? But then I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking...
But that's not going to be for another year and a half,
right? So if they put it on a year contract or whatever, but what they can do is because they're not going to be paying for Hulu to do this. Hulu's paying them to actually show this, and so to do the licensing. And if they can generate any sort of buzz for Agent Carter, then they could actually bring back a third season of Agent Carter
on their
own streaming service, so they can raise the buzz. If they were smart, they would do the same thing with Constantine. License that out to Hulu or Amazon or something. Yeah. So if they want to do a second Constantine series,
was Constantine on ABC too?
No, Constantine was
CW, wasn't it?
Was on CW.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's DC. My bad.
Yeah, but that's a different thing. But I didn't actually think about it in that way, but that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Actually. And I would love to see a third season of Agent Carter. That show's so good.
Yeah,
man.
I love Haley Atwell, and actually I liked the show that she did.
A reboot of Howard the Duck DVD would be amazing. It was so bad. My students, speaking of Howard the Duck, my students, I have them do, like, when we read Ready Player One, do a little research of pop culture. And somebody wanted to do Howard the Duck because it was mentioned in the book. And they found a clip of, like, where he's playing the piano and, like, she comes out of the background and it's like, did she have sex with this duck? And, like, he's playing the piano. It's super freaking weird.
It is a weird movie.
I would love to see something like that.
I think it would play off better if they did a Howard the Duck cartoon.
Oh, way better because it's way less gross and weird.
Yes,
but still, be funny.
All right, so
what do we got?
So we got a couple little of Avengers 4 news. Kevin Feige came out and did an interview, and he actually says that Avengers 4, not Infinity War, but the next one after, which is coming up in 2019, is going to have a finality to it.
Okay.
And, I mean, even though we know that after Avengers 4, we're going to be getting Guardians 3 and Spider-Man 2, there's a finality to it because mostly a lot of contracts are going to be up.
Right.
Chris Pine, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, all these main people from the original Avengers, their contracts are going to be up. Everyone knows that Chris Evans wants to move into directing.
Yeah.
But I think Robert Downey Jr. is just getting too expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Evidently, he made $80 million in 2015, and a lot of it was from Marvel.
So much money.
Yeah, because I think he made $50 million for Ultron.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
I think he has to make $50 million a movie now, doesn't he?
For each Avenger movie or Iron Man title.
Okay, so like not his cameo in Homecoming or whatever.
No,
right?
But
okay.
I think they could keep him on board for doing some of those.
Yeah.
But
it's not a cameo. I guess it's a role.
It's a role, but it's minor.
Yeah.
But what I think is great is that there's already precedent for this in the comics. Okay, Evans leaves, you can have Bucky or Sam Wilson take over the
Captain America.
The Captain America role, or if Tony Stark steps away, Pepper Potts or Riri Williams could take over the Iron Man role, stuff like that. So there are ways around it while still preserving their characters. They don't have to die, but some people are going to die.
I think it's time.
It is.
I mean, it's time to kill someone besides randomly was it Quicksilver or whoever died? Like just like I introduced him, he's dead. Oh well. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Which I thought Quicksilver's character was cool, but it's just like, all right, but he hasn't been around for 4 movies either.
No,
or
exactly.
5 movies.
And honestly, I don't think this is the one thing that Fox did right.
Mm-hmm.
Fox's Quicksilver was better than Marvel's Quicksilver.
So much better.
And I like the actor, don't get me wrong, but Evan Peters is great as Fox's Quicksilver.
Yeah, it was really good.
But the thing is I think the one that they really can't drop the ball on is, even though her contract is going to be up and she's played second fiddle to everybody in all of her movies,
Johansson,
yeah. And they have to give her a Black Widow movie.
Yeah, I think it's time.
And honestly, I think you either have to make it like we have Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah.
Either have to make it a Black Widow Hawkeye movie and talk about what happened in Bulgaria or whatever it was, or make it a Black Widow Natasha Romanoff origin movie.
I agree. Skeen, I'm with you. Sam Wilson as Captain America would be sick. Tony Stark. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Tony Stark. He started it. Could also end it. I don't know, man. I think there's a couple people you have to keep. One being Banner. Like, you have to figure out how to keep.
Well, as I mentioned earlier with the whole Illuminati thing, you can kind of do that where you can keep Banner, you can keep Tony Stark.
What's the actor? Ruffalo. You have to keep Ruffalo.
Yeah, you can keep those characters, and if they're part of the Illuminati, they can touch into each movie.
That's true.
Without having to carry any one movie.
Yeah. I'm not, and again, I like, and we'll talk about Thor next week, but I like, big butts, you're so stupid. So I like that Ruffalo can come around and they're not doing a Hulk standalone deal. I think him being in Ragnarok was brilliant, and it was
great.
So freaking good.
Ruffalo was really good in that.
And got to do a Black Widow movie. Extend her contract, give her a couple movies, keep her around for a little bit. Evans, Downey Jr., and what's the other big one? You got to do something. And Hemsworth.
Well, Hemsworth has totally been rejuvenated by Thor. By Ragnarok.
And so I think that's going to be an easier one to keep. But those other two, Evans and Ruffalo, or not, Evans and Downey Jr., you got to figure out something with them. They have to go.
What I think
it's too easy to, and you can do something with Iron Man too. You also have Rowdy that can come in. War Machine can come in. So I mean,
what I think the best thing that they could do is Marvel has their own in-house talent. Cool. Where they train their own talent, right? That's where they come up with, like, Patty Jenkins came out of it.
Yeah. Writing, promote from within kind of
exactly.
thing.
Exactly. They have their own, like, little school. They train to write and direct and everything. Throw Evans into that now. And
That's a
then
good
give
point.
Evans wants to direct, give him his own movie.
Yeah.
Have him start with a one shot. You know, like they had the Item 47 one shot. They had the If Anything Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer one shot. You had the Agent Carter one shot. All these. Give
Right.
him one of those one shots, and then give him
No, I'm with you, dude. And
turn him into an assistant director on a big shoot, and then see if he gets his own movie.
it's interesting. DVD brings up a good one. What about Nick Fury?
We haven't seen him in a while.
No. I know we're going to see him in Infinity War.
Oh yeah.
Is he going to die there?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. I love the bottom line with that though is that's a character that's going to just come and go.
Exactly.
You can pay
And that's the thing
you
is-
can pay Samuel Jackson to come in and be Samuel Jackson for an hour and a half anytime.
Right. And
You
then
know?
you could do that with Downey Jr. too.
You can,
Right.
but you got to be careful because he's so worth so much money.
Yes.
Samuel Jackson, I don't think he asks for a lot sometimes.
No.
He's just like, oh, so I can come in and I'll be gone and I'll be Samuel Jackson.
And
It'll
I
be
think
fine.
if you were to, one of two things would have to happen if you killed off Fury.
Yeah.
Okay. You'd either have to promote Maria Hill to head
True.
Shield,
which she's in position for.
Yeah, exactly. Or you finally have to connect Agents of Shield and admit that Coulson's alive.
Yeah, and I would love that. Like if
Not
you,
gonna happen anytime soon.
No, but I mean, again, I loved Agents of Shield. I haven't watched the last couple seasons, I guess, but I like that Coulson's alive and doing stuff.
I think the best thing to do is have him come up in Avengers 4 because he was the catalyst for the battle in the first Avengers.
He was indeed.
Have him come.
You don't think Coulson will show up in Infinity War?
Not in this one, no. I think
Okay.
he'll show up in 4.
Cool. We'll see. Anyway, dude, we could talk about this all day. I honestly, I think that the big three, well, I just say the big two at this point because Thor Ragnarok did so well. Hemsworth is loving it,
I think
obviously.
he's on board for a little bit longer.
He's going to get expensive, but if the movies do well,
It's worth it.
you know, it'll be worth it. The other two, they're
they're
replaceable storyline wise, and Evans is ready to go, and Homeboy is way too expensive.
Yes.
So it's time to do something different. And there's so many awesome characters. It's time to go forward. Especially we'll see what happens after Black Panther. We've got Ant-Man and Wasp and all this other stuff coming. So we'll see what happens.
And
that's a good point, Skeen. Anybody can come back because it's comics. right?
absolutely. and Blake said something here about a Maria Hill movie.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no. Maria Hill can't carry her own movie. But what I think would be smart is you can do limited runs within seasons and have her come on for a 4-episode arc during sweeps for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's a good point. Yeah, I like that idea too. All right, dude. What else do we have here? Are we done? I thought we were done. We're not done. We got off of a tangent.
Oh, Lizzie Kaplan is in talks to join Gambit. We've talked about it over the last couple of months.
True.
That Gambit is really starting to gain steam.
Finally.
Lizzie Kaplan is great. She was in the Now You See Me Too.
Okay.
And I love her in a whole bunch of other stuff.
Nice. And Ant-Man and the Wasp. I guess Lawrence Fishburne's in it. He teased it.
Interesting.
He teased this on. I want to say it's Instagram. Let me open it up and see what he put. This was a while ago because we didn't record last week. This was on the 17th. Let me find it. Hold on. He said, oh, he's in it. He says, in a recent interview with Yahoo, Fishman confirmed he will be playing a hero, quote unquote, a hero, before retracting the statement to make the role sound a bit more subtle. Actually, I'm playing a scientist, Fishburne said. So I love Fishburne, dude. I just want him to be in all the things.
He's good.
He's like my favorite part of the Matrix stuff. But anyway,
to answer Blade's question, yes, Ant-Man and the Wasp happens between Infinity War and Avengers.
Yep.
We have Black Panther coming up in February.
Then
Infinity
Ant-Man.
War's in May. Ant-Man's in July.
Right.
And then we have Captain Marvel the next February, I think.
I think that's right. And then, isn't there another? Not another Thor. What else? There's something else in between Avengers 4. What else haven't we done? Another Captain America movie, isn't there?
Nope.
There's not another one?
Nope.
And there's no more Iron Man. There's something else we're missing. Black Panther.
It's Black Panther.
Infinity War.
Infinity War. Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Ant-Man,
Captain Marvel, and then 4.
Spider-Man. Thank you.
No,
There's another-
Spider-Man's after Avengers 4.
Is it after?
Yep.
Oh, Guardians.
No, Guardians is after Avengers 4 as well.
Sorry, I got excited.
Yeah, Avengers and Guardians and Spider-Man are both going to be in Phase 4.
Interesting. All right. Well, here we are.
All right. We've got a couple convention news before we get out of here.
All right. So if you're listening for the first time, or if you haven't joined us live or don't listen to our regular show, conventions are something that we do. We wish we could do more. And we go to San Diego Comic-Con every year. Is it Doctor Strange?
No, that's in the works, but it's not. There's nothing definitive on it yet.
He threw that out there. All right, so convention news. I'm only throwing this out there, even though we're not participating this year because we're not eligible. But open registration has been confirmed, and that is for December 9th. So if you're trying to get tickets for San Diego Comic-Con, if you want to meet us, hang out with us for our 3rd annual Pucked Cantina, Passion and Usual Carillion Trap Cantina event at Mission Brewing Company in San Diego during Comic-Con, and you want to do that, jump on to their website, sign up for member ID, and December 9th, it's basically a lottery. You get on there, you get an email, and you see what's up. I have a link in here for the from SDCC unofficial blog. They do a really good visual guide to help you if you are interested in going to San Diego Comic-Con for the first time. Make sure that you keep your expectations low. It's pretty hard to do, but definitely join up with people. You can buy for other people as long as you have an eligible member ID. And I'm only throwing this out there because we have a lot of friends who have never gotten tickets and that won tickets and would like to try for tickets. So jump on there, join up with people. If one person gets in, they can buy for a couple of others. And good luck to everybody who's going to do it. And that is not this weekend. But by the time you hear this, it'll be the weekend coming up. Yeah. So definitely make sure that you do that. And San Diego Comic-Con's a blast. It's crazy, but it's a blast.
It is a blast. And I did just look it up. In the only official titles coming up are Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, and then Avengers 4.
And they haven't announced anything else.
Well, Spider-Man and Guardians, but that's after that.
Right. Okay. Cool, man. Anything else? Bless you.
No, I just want to make sure.
Too early. You blew it. So thanks for tuning in to the usual podcast.
I wasn't going to say have a fun yet.
Go ahead.
I was going to say make sure to those of you that have joined us from the.
I think you're backpedaling.
Now you're just messing up my words. Thank you for the Kidley raid because we retained about half of the audience. So thank you to you, our new listeners, and we hope you stay on for next week. But after Marshall just screwed this up, I doubt you will.
Oh my God, that was so funny. All right, no.
Now I want to make sure you go F yourself.
Well, he's talking.
Marshall, not you.
He's talking to me. I want to reiterate what Will said. Thank you for everybody who stuck around after Kidley rated our feed. Thanks to Kidley for doing that. He's a awesome dude. Been in our SWTOR community forever. So if you're here because of him and you found us, join us, like us, and share us and all that. So thanks for tuning in to The Usual Podcast. If you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we are on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Find us on Twitter. I am at Darth Pops and Will is at IMO Griggs. We're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and all the places you find your podcasts. So like us and share us and all that. If you want to support the show, you can use patreon.com/usualpodcast, which I talked about earlier. We have exclusives for people who do that. Give us $1 or $2 an episode and support us and help us get to conventions and stuff like we were just talking about. And also another way to do it is audibletrial.com/usualpodcast. If you don't have an Audible account already, you can jump in there and you can get a free audiobook. And it gives us $15, and there's a ton of good books out there.
Yeah, any of the new Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, there's a ton of Star Wars books. I'm a big Brandon Sanderson fan. Get some bang for your buck. Get some Game of Thrones, something like that. But audibletrial.com/usualpodcast or patreon.com/usualpodcast. So, my friend, now it's time.
Now I want to say thank you, everybody, and make sure you have a fun.
Have a fun, and we'll see you all next week.
Peace.
I swear you were going to jump.
You.
I swear you were. That was so funny, dude.
Okay, admittedly, I was, but then
I know you were, and then you backpedal, you
But
sucker.
I caught myself before you did.
Anyway, thanks everyone. Thanks Skeen, DVD. Thank you, Blate. Thank you guys for being in there and contributing.
Very active chat room tonight.
We really appreciate that. It makes the fun. It makes the show a lot more fun.
Makes it easier to have the fun.
Well, we're always having a fun. 'Cause I'm always having a beer.
Yeah.
And if you missed earlier, I am drinking a Ballast Point Sculpin IPA. I'm almost done with it.
Word.
All right, everyone. Thank you. If you missed any part of the show, you can catch the feed. It should be up. I usually put it up by Tuesday at the latest Wednesday. So, thank you, everyone. Skeen, are you going to do WOG tomorrow night? We're going to try to hit that new boss. Bueller? I think he's leaving. Okay. All right, I'm out. Thank you, guys.